So you want to be a guitar YouTuber? Are you sure? Well, we've got part 3 of our series of how to be a guitar YouTuber coming up for you today, right here on GearGasms. Hi kids, welcome to GearGasms. I'm your host, Alan Barnes. Welcome to part 3 of So You Want to Be a Guitar YouTuber. In the last installment, we talked about lights, camera, and audio. Today we're going to talk about things like framing your shot, titles, editing techniques, techniques for looking into the camera and appearing relaxed and speaking well, and all the things that go into making up a video, the actual content of the video. Now to kick this episode off, we're going to start right into how to frame your shot, where to place the camera, and the pros and cons of camera placement. Alright, now here's a shot that I framed up that kind of shows you what's wrong with making your shot too low. You want to make sure that you're not looking down at the camera. You don't want the camera like way underneath you, looking up underneath you, because first of all, that's not a flattering angle. You get way down there looking way up at yourself, you're going to see all the double chin stuff. That view from way below head level looking up at you, that's the view that Mrs. GearGasm sees every now and then, and you should probably ask her how much she likes looking at me from that angle. It's not pretty. Short people think everybody is ugly. I'm convinced of it. You want to shoot from up. Eye level maybe, but generally up. Not so far up that you look like this, because this shot is way too damn high. It looks kind of stupid. Maybe you can get away with this, but again, you don't want to look like you're praying to Jesus when you're talking to people. You kind of want to look them kind of close to eye, maybe just a little bit above. This shot is just as ridiculous as the low shot. It's no bueno. This shot is generally better, but still not great. And I'll tell you what's wrong with it. I'm looking over there at my monitor. I've got some of the dormer window pulled in there. It's too much room at the top of my head. You can see that. You kind of want the top of your head maybe to be close to the top of the frame. Leave yourself a couple of extra inches in the monitor. Another problem with this shot, if you're a guitar guy, it's too long. The guitar is cut off. So let's work on making an even better shot. This shot's a lot better, but it's still not great. As you can see, the guitar is cut off. The frame around me is much better. We've got that looking a lot better, but the camera is still a little bit too high up. If we bring it up a little bit, my head's going to be out of the shot. We're going to drop that camera just a little bit more, reposition it so that it looks even better. Now once you have your shot all framed, lit, you're rolling, you're shooting your segments, one thing I have to tell myself to do is pause between sentences, pause between playing segments, because later on when I'm editing it, I'll need those pauses to make clean edits. If I'm just wailing up and down the neck of guitar and it's a whole lot of sloppy crap, if I don't leave pauses in between, it makes it hard to cut the clams out of the mix. Same thing when I'm talking. I tend to speak fast because of my radio background, and sometimes when I ramble, I don't leave time for edit. So learn how to speak, leave some pauses in there. If you complete a thought, kind of stick the landing, and then move on to your next topic. Now once you have your video all shot and ready to edit, I'm not going to get into the specific details of editing software, but a couple of points to bear in mind. When you're editing a video, keep an eye on the time. Brevity is the soul of wit. People are very funny about having their time wasted, even on YouTube. If you don't get to the point and stay on the point, people will click away from your content so fast it'll make your head spin. But don't make their head spin when it comes time to editing the footage either. Stay away from busy transitions. Here's a great example of a transition you should not use. See how stupid that was? That's no bueno. This next edit is probably going to be something that you could probably get away with. It's a little busier than a crossfade or a cross dissolve, but you can get away with these I call pushes. And again, they need to be in places in content where it makes sense. Maybe it's a new thought is starting, so you do a push like this. And see, now that I'm back from the push, I can go on and ramble on about my next topic. Don't use swirly editing. Stay away from too much graphics. You certainly don't want to use transitions that have killer graphics between every shot. And that goes with your opening sequence as well. You're not Michael Bay. You're not here to impress people with how cool your video software is. Stay away from the highly graphic, too busy, too long kind of elements in your video. And that goes for all your titling, your beginning, your title sequence, your end sequence. Keep it short. Don't make people seasick with the editing. Now, speaking of editing, when it comes to structuring your video, make sure the structure of your video makes sense. Again, people do not want their time wasted on YouTube. So no matter how cool your software is, avoid that pitfall of wanting to make an overly long intro. Don't do cold intro opens. Don't put your logo bumper right up front at first. That's what I started off doing, because as soon as people click on the video, then they see your I am blah 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 channel with all this stuff. They already know where they are. They know what channel they clicked on. They know the content. So you want to make sure in those first few seconds, you want to do a cold opening, just like Saturday Night Live. You don't go right to the theme song or whatever. You come in and you want to make sure you have a very brief synopsis or a thesis for your video that's going to hook the viewer and make them want to watch it. And towards that end, I often form my intros as a question, just like I've done for this series. I'll open up with, so you want to be a YouTuber? Are you sure? Well, we've got part 3 of our series on how to make guitar YouTube videos coming for you today, right here on GearGasms. And as you can see there, it was quick, it was easy. I'm asking you a question, we're getting right on to it. You say the name, you hold the pose. That gives you the time as an editor to cut that shot, go straight into the logo bumper, and then back to the content. Now with guitar videos, I find when you come back to the content, add your logo, your title sequence, your logo bumper, whatever you want to call it, if it's going to have feature playing in it, especially if you're demoing a guitar, an amp, or a pedal, I'll try to put a clip of some playing right up front. 5, 6 seconds, 10 seconds, 20 seconds max. Just something to give somebody a little bit of a feel of, oh, there's going to be music in this video. And then as soon as that sequence is over, boom, I'm into the next shot. And then you come in with, hi kids, welcome to GearGasms. I'm your host, Alan Barnes. Today, we have the most amazing $1 million guitar for you. I got it for $5 on eBay, but the book value is $1 million. You're wondering, how in the hell did I pull something like that off? We're going to give you all the details coming right up. Don't belabor the point. Don't take too long making the point, because again, they'll flip away. So then you get right into your content. You do your thing. Bada bing, bada bang. Make sure it ends on something that makes sense and is coherent. But you just come right back in and say, for mine, I'm like, well, what did we learn today, kids? We learned that $1 million guitar cannot be bought for $5. We also learned that if you plug $1 million guitar into a $10 amp, it's going to sound like a $25 piece of junk. So then, usually what I'll do at the end of a video is what they call the call to action. You've got to say, if you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button. Please subscribe, tell a few friends, ring the notification bell so you get news of any new releases we do, blah, 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 blah. As always, I thank you for your time, blah, 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 blah. Womp, womp, womp. I'll see you here again on GearGasms. Now the head tilt, when I do that, that's a proprietary thing. I don't want to see you doing that. If you finish this YouTube course and you ask me to watch your video to give you some pointers and you do that head tilt, I'm going to dox you, I'm going to find out where you live, and I'm going to punch you square in the face. Now in addition, some people put the call to action up front in the video. A lot of the big channels will say somewhere in the first 30 seconds, hey, if you're new to this channel, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. Whatever, to get people, because a lot of times if you put that at the end, people are not going to get to your video. They're not going to get to the end. Right now, more than 50% of the people that start off watching this video are no longer watching. So you want to be careful about where you put things in the video. Now I saved the hardest part of this video for last, And again, it's something that it's hard to teach. You just have to do it. But it's the speaking on camera. It's the looking right in the lens, making sure you make good eye contact, keeping your eyes open wide enough and not squinting in the lights. I find that I do that. I'll look at my videos and I'm kind of like that because these lights, they're blinding. Let me tell you something. They are horrific. I can barely see the camera lens from all the glare coming at me. It's like that scene in Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and you're just washed back with light. It's overpowering. It's like the rapture. It's end of days. But developing a way to be natural on camera is the most unnatural thing possible. In my first videos, I was very much deer in headlights. Okay, this next guitar is a blah, 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 blah. And video after video, first 10 videos I did are probably horrific in that way. Hi kids, welcome to another episode of GearGasms. I'm your humble host, Alan Barnes. And now, without further delay, we're going to go ahead and start the tour of Smile or Die recording studios. But one thing you definitely want to do, and I see a lot of YouTubers doing this, and I always coach against it. I've got a monitor over there. I don't look at it during the shot. I can right now. But that helps me know that I'm lit properly and that the shot is framed properly and that I'm in focus, because there's a little square on the monitor that my head stays in. I try and keep it in that square. But what a lot of people do when they're shooting with a camera that has like a flip screen and that's the only monitor they have, it's usually beside the lens, maybe a couple inches to the side, and they'll be looking at that instead of into that hole. You can see them. I'll see if I can do it for you. I'll pretend I'm looking at the monitor that's just right beside there, and I'm saying, hey everybody, welcome to GearGasms. I sure would like it if you'd subscribe to my channel. What are we doing on GearGasms today? See? You see the difference? Now I'm looking at you again. So the thing you have to do, besides sort of jumping into the camera, one thing that helps, a lot of people say to do, is pretend you're talking to somebody who knows you and loves you and is going to be accepting of pretty much anything you say. That takes the nerves out. If you pretend like you're looking at an audience of 1,000 people or thousands of people and you're trying to convince them to watch your content and to be likable and to stay with you, you're going to feel that natural fear, and that is going to kill the essence of you. And the essence of you is the most important thing that you got to push forward and get into that camera. So you got to make sure that if you can't speak extemporaneously, that you at least outline what you're going to talk about, maybe script it. I'm pretty good at just blowing words out of this hole of mine off the top of the brain and burping on camera. But it's something that just sort of comes natural to me. But sometimes I will find myself sitting here looking into your eyes, and I think I know what I'm going to say, and it comes out clunky. Just reshoot it. Sometimes you can leave the clunk in, and it's endearing. People like seeing your mistakes, and you sort of laugh them off, especially if you're playing. It humanizes you a little bit. But just spend some time looking right into the camera and practicing relating to it, like it's a human being. Like if you're going blah, 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 doing your thing, and you want to emphasize a point, lean in a little bit, change the tone of your voice and say, hey, this next piece is super important. I really, really want you to focus on what I'm about to say next. See, it's easy. As always, I thank you for your time. Don't forget to hit the like button, ring the bell for notifications. Please subscribe, tell some friends to subscribe. But wherever you do, I hope to keep seeing you week after week right here on GearGasms.